carbon is firmly on the agenda. The CRC is still going to happen. They're committed to building carbon capture devices. They're committed to ensuring jobs are created in the low carbon economy. So the commitment is still very strongly there, even after the spending review. During the spending review, the government has changed the rules quite considerably on the carbon reduction commitment. Before the review, everybody was expecting to have to buy carbon allowances, but after a certain amount of time they were expecting to get some, if not all, their money back, and there's even a chance of making a profit on it. Now the government's changed the rules. There will be no recycling of payments, so the money that companies are having to pay to the government is now a real tax. If you're imagining having a cash flow problem of having to pay £200,000 out, but still expecting to get it back 6 months later, now you're paying £200,000 out and you're not going to get it back. It is a big change. Yeah, the companies that we've been talking to are really annoyed that they've invested so much money over the last few years getting the carbon trust standard, putting it in place, and it's not cheap. And they did it to perform well in this carbon reduction commitment and hopefully to get a return on investment on the carbon allowance system. With the carbon allowances changing so much into a carbon tax, now that money that they've invested in the carbon trust standard is a complete waste. In a couple of years' time, all companies may have to report their carbon emissions as part of their annual reports and annual returns. So it's not a large leap of faith to say that once that's in place, actually the government have a really good vehicle for probably taxing every company in the UK. What companies need to be doing is they need to be focusing on reducing their carbon emissions, obviously. And the more they can reduce carbon emissions now before the start of the footprinting year that really matters, which is from April next year through to March 2012, is making sure that they've got all the carbon reduction measures in place, so things that will reduce energy in their buildings, so better lighting, better boiler control systems, things that will make a real change. And also trying to educate staff to do the right sorts of things, so there's a behavioural change aspects. A lot of these sorts of behavioural change aspects don't cost a lot of money, but it is a case of getting the staff engaged, and you can make significant changes and savings through it. So there's a lot of things that companies can be doing right now that will help reduce their energy bills. A lot of our customers find, after we've done some on-site surveys with them, is that through the low and no cost measures that we identify, even those companies who have been doing stuff already, they find that they can save another 5-10% relatively quickly in terms of energy savings. So energy savings is a thing to focus on for the companies who are going to have to be making these carbon taxes, because more they can save now, less carbon tax they'll pay in the future. Yeah, dead right. There are some marketing upsides as well. In addition to the savings, potential savings that you can have in terms of your energy bills and the carbon tax, there's a lot of companies are now needing to promote themselves as being greener. Customers, whether they're consumers or larger corporations or the government, are looking at making buying decisions based on green factors. So if a company can make all these great savings in terms of their carbon emissions, they also need to be marketing it and making sure that they're getting the true business value from doing so.